Good evening. Welcome to the T.G. Howard Outreach segment. I'm Ashley Edmonds and I'm here with Donna Gray. And Donna, if you tell us about the position that you're seeking with Pulaski County and about yourself.
Okay, I am running for re-election for Commissioner of the Revenue.
Okay.
I have been the commissioner for over a year now. Before that, I was a deputy for over 11 years. I did take 5 courses, and we had to do some other things. There's some other meetings and different things you have to do. So last year, July of 2018, I actually got my certification.
Okay.
So my master deputy certification last year. So that was a good thing, and I was proud of that. And I hope to continue that with commissioner. If I'm reelected, I'd like to try to get my certification for that also.
Right.
Before that, I worked at Pulaski Furnitures for 23 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, most all that was in the accounting department, and took some classes throughout the year there and done some stuff with them. I was born and raised here in the town of Pulaski.
Oh, okay.
I've lived here my whole life in the town. My parents are Jimmy and Marie Babb. They are both still alive. They live on South Washington Avenue. I married Jeff Gray. We have 2 children, Michaela and Tyler, and I have 2 grandbabies, Landon and Grace. They are everything to me, and that's one of my biggest hobbies, being with my family and stuff. And I love to walk around town. I love to walk the trail down here. I like to go to the music when it's in the park. I like the festivals that we have locally. I love Claytor Lake. I grew up going to Claytor Lake, and I took my children to Claytor Lake. Now I take my grandbabies. Nobody wants to go with me. Me and the grandbabies go on to Claytor Lake by ourselves. And I love the beach.
Okay.
I'm an outdoors type of person.
Sounds like it.
Anything that's outdoors, I like, enjoy. And I feel like we have a lot of that here to offer.
We absolutely do. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, but I mean, it's a really wonderful recreation area.
It
Pulaski
really
County
is.
is.
It is.
It really is. So that's great. Oh, that is awesome. All right. Now, if you'll talk a little bit and tell us a little bit about what you envision the Commissioner of Revenue's office, what that role kind of means to you, and what you want for that office to kind of look like or be, or maybe, plans for the future, and what you feel like its impact to Pulaski County is.
Well, I've got a whole page of stuff here that I thought and wrote down. I thought, well, maybe I don't need all of this, but I want to start with a few things of what we do in the Commissioner's office. We are responsible for assessing people's property, not only their real estate, but their vehicles and everything like that. And we're responsible for business license, consumer taxes. We do state income tax returns, the business person property and public service, and we have all that. And as the commissioner, I think your job is to make sure that the assessments are done as fair as you can. Or we have guidelines and rules, but I mean, you have to really go through and be careful, and you have to be accountable for that stuff. And you just have to do the best you can with that, because most all your information is from outside sources. So, sometimes there is stuff that's missed. I want my office to be friendly. I want my staff to be knowledgeable. I want people to come in and feel comfortable and everything. And I want people to know about the programs that we have. We have a tax relief program for the elderly and disabled. I want that to be known. I tell everybody, here's our guidelines. Let's look at it and see. Bring your stuff in next year. And let's sit down and let's see if you're eligible for it. Of course, we do the veterans relief.
Right.
We do that. We have land use for the farmers and stuff. And I think all that's very important stuff for
Yeah, especially,
for the citizens.
right, and especially in this area when you talked about land use, because we do have a lot of agricultural properties.
Yes, we do.
And so, making sure that people know about land use, I think that's extremely important.
Yes.
Just something I wanted to ask you about that, I know is coming up, is that there is another reassessment period coming. Kind of tell us, what does that involve?
Oh, it's been, I've been there through 2 reassessments, but this is the first time I've been in charge of taking care of it.
Right.
So, we did settle on a firm, and Jonathan and I met with them and stuff and worked out everything with them, and they will start coming in the next month or so doing some preliminary stuff.
Okay.
I'm been back and forth in contact with them. I have to get computers set up for them, phone lines set up for them, and
Right, because they kind of come in and kind of just take over.
they take over for that year.
Right.
And stuff, so, and you have to be careful so that it doesn't look like you're influencing them on anything, but at the same time, you have to be involved to a certain degree, because they're leaving that for you, and you're gonna have to answer questions.
Exactly.
Citizens have.
Right.
Which they have the appeals that they can come in and they can appeal it, and then they can go to the Board of Equalization and all that, and the reassessment takes care of all that. So when people get these letters, they need to take care of that, because, sometimes we have people come in a year later.
Right.
Well,
And that time period is passed
Yeah,
for them to be able to appeal or to
so-
kind of make comment, right?
So, and I'm really trying to work with them and everything, and they're gonna use, a new software package. They've been using iPads, so that made me feel a little bit better out in the field. So
Right.
they don't do it on paper now.
Right. Because I know at one time they did.
Yeah. Well, last reassessment,
Yeah.
it was still paper, so they doing it on iPads, and when they do it, it's going to directly go into our ProVal system. So
Okay.
I was a little nervous about that at first.
I
'Cause
can
we
imagine.
have to go back to that paperwork sometimes, but we've worked through it, and we've had some conference calls, and I feel a little bit better about it.
Oh,
Because
that's good.
I'm all about recycling and not having a bunch of paper and stuff, so
Mhm.
I like that, but I just wanna make sure I can see what they've done.
Absolutely, I can understand that. Another question that I'm just gonna ask, because I find what you do very, very interesting, because, I never even, you get your tax bill and you look on there and you see what something is, what something is valued. And I'm one of those people that go, what does that mean? How do they come up with that number? But one of the things that I know that your office does is that, and, works with what's called, GIS, information, and that's something down that on the county's website that people can go to, and they can look at their, property cards and see their property values and things of that nature. Do you ever have, citizens that come in and ask questions about that, or do you see that there's more use by citizens of that, of the website and that particular function?
I don't know so much by the citizens that much, but the realtors, we get very few calls from them, or the banks and stuff like that. Most of the time, any calls we get from them is because they can't. It could be a sub-parcel or something like that, and
Right.
they can't find it on the GIS and stuff, and they may call, but you still have citizens that come in that want you to print them off, especially some of the older generation.
Right,
They
right.
want,
Right, they want that paper.
yeah. And so we still have quite a few of those, and calls and stuff. Most of the calls for real estate now seem to be when we work building permits or something, and they've made changes to the property, and we went out and done
And kind of looked at
assessments
that
and
stuff.
stuff, and had to change their value. And I've done a little bit of everything up there through the years. Trina really put me into everything, and but I never got to go out. I always knew how to, mobile homes, I always worked mobile homes. I knew how to figure them, how to do everything. I could put a value on that. But to actually go out and measure a house and
Right.
pavement stuff, but I'm doing that now. I
That
went out with
is
Anthony. I'm
wonderful.
like, because I want to be able, if I am reelected, I want to be able, anybody that comes in, I want to be able to answer any questions they have. If Anthony's on vacation, I want to be able to help them. So I've been going out with him. We got some properties we're gonna go around town next week and do and look at. So,
That is nice. I like that. I like that hands-on, trying to get more knowledge. I think that's wonderful. And then the fact too that you mentioned the part about not just training for yourself, but training for your staff, because
Yes.
you want them to be able
Yeah.
to keep up and be able to do the different aspects of the job too.
because I have a very young staff. I only have really 2 senior people because Trina had hired 2 people last March. Deborah retired at the end of July, and then the passing of Trina at the end of August.
Right.
So I have a very young staff.
Right.
So, but I think they're doing good, and I think, some of us just comes with being there and learning.
Right.
You try to go over, I went out there and tried to work with them, but it's just, you gotta do the hands-on.
Right.
And we jump around from thing to thing, and we got
Mhm.
boats, and we got campers, and we got trailers, and
Right.
cars, and
Absolutely.
and then the businesses, and all of it's done a little different, so.
Okay, I like that. That's very interesting. I like anything that has a lot of different parts to it, not maybe just the same thing
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah, we don't have the same thing.
I understand that. All right, gotta get to the last question here, and this question is more about community involvement and different projects. So in recent months, a grassroots movement to increase historical awareness and affect positive change in response to community needs in Pulaski County has grown. Examples of this progression includes the Coffee Training School project, which is set to revitalize and repurpose its space to preserve items of cultural importance and to have address some of our child care needs in the community. Then you've got the Adair Theater Group, which its mission is to provide outreach and entertainment through the arts. And then you have the T.G. Howard Center, which is our organization, which we're trying to invest and enrich the lives of Pulaski County citizens and inform them, and that's one of the reasons why we're having these forums and giving candidates the opportunity to come and speak to us. What are your thoughts on these efforts, and how would you play a role? Maybe you're not able to do so much in your role as Commissioner of Revenue, but as a private citizen.
Well, I would do anything to help with any project. I will make the time. I do help with my grandchildren.
Mhm.
My daughter works evening, 4 days a week, so I do help with them, but I would do anything. I think there's so much positive stuff going on in Pulaski County. I love it, because I love this community, I always have. And I love to see these old buildings being renovated and being used.
Absolutely.
And Coffee School, I went there for kindergarten, so it's really special to me
Yeah.
see it being
Right.
renovated. It's
Yeah.
gonna be used. It's very
Absolutely.
special. I can remember, it's just had a little slope out back, and I can remember it snowed one day, because we didn't get out of school for every time snow flared or anything like that. So we went outside, and the teacher took a little sled, and we was sliding off that little bank out there and stuff.
Okay.
And now my husband he went to kindergarten there, but he
Okay.
also went to preschool at the T.G. Howard.
Did he?
Yes, he did. And see, there was a little park behind there. I
Yes,
remember the
yes,
park.
ma'am.
I remember it.
Yeah.
So now I don't know much about the theater yet, but
Mhm.
those two do. They're special and
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
Now I can remember the church up on Magazine Street.
Mhm.
They had a bake sale and stuff at the T.G. Howard
Yes.
one time, and I went there to that. I remember that
Okay.
and stuff.
That's
I mean,
wonderful.
these old buildings, I love to see them. I hate to see them tore down, and we've got beautiful buildings around here. I mean,
We really
we have
do.
a beautiful community,
Yes, we do.
and people I don't think always appreciate it as much as they can. But I would love to be involved in things. I paint a building. Well, y'all might not ask me to paint. You might ask me, and then you might ask me to leave. But I would do anything. I love to be involved
Okay.
and stuff. So.
Well, wonderful. Well, Ms. Donna, I'm going to give you this opportunity now, because we're toward the end of our interview, to give any closing remarks that you may have or comments. And so I'm going to let this be your opportunity before we close.
I don't really know what to say. I am running for re-election for Commissioner of the Revenue. I would appreciate everybody to come out November 5th and vote. Just vote. I'm not saying vote for me, I'm just saying come out and vote.
Mhm.
People, I don't think always take our local elections as serious as they should and what it means for our community.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely. Thank you again, Donna.
thank you.